Zach, say something.
Hi, can you hear me?
Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. This is why I really wanted to, look.
Good luck.
Well, we're live. Hello. We're going to figure out June's audio because she can't hear me.
I can do, but it's not on Bluetooth, and I would like to go on Bluetooth, so...
Oh, okay. Well, whatevs. We're here. Welcome to your Budget Eats Q&A talk around times.
Hi, y'all. It's June. Hi, John. And today you get a different angle into my kitchen, the other side that is never shown. Can you get Fred?
Aaron's also here crashing the screen. You guys might remember me from such series as Budget Eats. I'm the guy who critiques June's food and doesn't wash the dishes, apparently.
He washes the dishes, guys.
Fun fact: I cut out most of the footage of Aaron washing dishes just to keep
It's true.
it going.
It's kind of like, it's not very entertaining to watch somebody wash dishes for 20 minutes, so, you know, Zach makes that kind of very critical editorial judgment call.
Yeah.
I trust him.
There is, and I forget the name of the film because I wasn't a great film student, but there's a long film where it's like 6 hours long, and it's a woman just going about her day and doing all sorts of things, like washing dishes and making meals. I think she murders someone at some point, carries the body through, but it's like... it's a very long film, and we don't want to make that here at Budget Eats. We just like to show the process.
So we have been making very long films, in
Yeah.
case you haven't noticed that. I thought you cut these. But. Somebody says they can't see my face, Zach. Did you drag out your Zoom?
Oh, you know what? That's on me.
You did, didn't you?
I'm so good at editing, and I'm not very good at beaming raw material into the stratosphere.
Yep, we gotta be side by side, not on top.
Okay, we fixed it. It'll happen now.
You would think a year into using Zoom we get it, but YouTube Live, not as easy as they seem.
Not as easy. We got like 3 different stuff going on. Oh, the movie is John Dielman. That's right, I forgot. Thank you, John. Let's introduce ourselves. June, who are you?
I'm June. I'm going to be eating an apple core right now. What are you doing, and who are you?
I'm Zach. I'm the editor of Budget Eats. I'm the silent hand in the dark who puts all the stuff together. I've got a lovely mug of water going on for me today.
Looks nice and frosty.
Yeah, the great folks at Rookie's Root Beer make a really good mug, so I'm very happy with that. So we're here to answer some questions you have about Budget Eats, how we make the show, and also to encourage you to go vote for us so that we can get a Webby Award. We've been nominated for a Webby Award. We're very happy, very proud. And we would love for you to vote. Voting's cool.
Yeah.
We're not going to say vote for us. Just vote.
You don't have to vote for us.
That's true. There's some other great videos out there.
Yeah.
I think ours are pretty great, but
I didn't vote for us, Zach.
I know. That's cool. I agree with who you voted for, though. If this was a ranked choice ballot type thing, then we would have a lot more fun. But anyway, June, do you want to answer some questions?
Yeah. I totally forgot about questions. But
that's cool.
Let's see. Hey, June, did you get my comment about making something using no salt seasoning and stevia? I'm not going to use stevia in cooking. Sorry, guys. That's just killing that idea right now. If you're going to make me use stevia, I'm just going to use, like, cinnamon, cloves, natural spices that didn't involve some sort of random bleaching processing, because those things naturally have sweetness to them, and I would much prefer to use what nature gave us. I think Julia sent us some questions, but I'm going to scroll back up.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Zach.
Yeah.
Where did you work before Delish? Tell us everything.
Okay, before Delish, I was a door guy at a bar in Massachusetts. Before that, I worked at a group home, helping teenage girls with their anxiety and their trauma paths. And before that, I taught film to teenagers.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah, that was good.
You should teach me film sometime.
I don't think I have to. I feel like throughout filming Budget Eats, you've earned an honorary film degree. Because, like, if you look at the first Budget Eats,
Yes.
you'll
Don't look at the first Budget Eats.
if you look at the first Budget Eats, you'll notice like some of the angles are like you're like, okay, that kind of gets by. But by now, June is a profesh at covering all the angles, getting every scrap of footage that I need. It's really cool. I think June, you are for sure a filmmaker.
Random question in the chat. Hi, my name is Brandon. Can you make an international dish for Budget Eats? Guys, okay, I have to address this right now.
Okay.
A lot of people have been asking me about making specific cuisines for Budget Eats. I cook for a living, but I am not a food authority on all the cuisines of the world, and there are many cuisines that I still do not know anything about, which is very embarrassing, yes, but also I'm always down to learn, but I don't feel knowledgeable enough to like delve into a whole week of a specific culture's recipes just because I'm not an authority on that. And also, what have I been making if not international dishes? I feel like all of my dishes are international in the way that it draws inspiration on everything that I've ever eaten or seen being eaten. So I consider a lot of my recipes international.
Yeah, I would agree. June, we have another question in the chat that I don't know the answer to, so I hope you do. Oh no, where'd it go? Oh, everyone talks very fast. I'll find the person's name, but they asked who came up with the idea for Budget Eats. I don't know that one.
I feel like Budget Eats is kind of like a collaboration between me and Julia, because in the middle of shooting from home, we kind of had to workshop a lot of ideas and just like take it as it goes. And earlier on in the process, Chelsea gave us a lot of good brainstorming ideas of what to do. But the very beginning of Budget Eats, I would say in the very incipient stages in my brain, my friend Devin, actually, we were hanging out one day pre-pandemic, and he said that he watched a lot of food media on YouTube, and none of them actually teach you how to make a whole week's worth of food based on what you buy. Like a lot of recipes are just like, you have to buy 12 different items, and then you use like a quarter of each of those items for this one recipe. And then you're just left with like 80% of everything that you bought, and you don't know how to use the rest of it. So that's kind of just like, how do you cook on a budget? Because a lot of us are on a budget. How do you make sure you use up everything? And how do you kind of like spin more stuff out of the same stuff?
Yeah. I love it. I feel like the show, from all my friends who text me about it, they love it because they feel like it's, oh, this is cooking I can actually do. So
could it be because I mess everything up at least a couple of times? And this is, by the way, what Zach has to watch. He has to watch me like cook for 4 hours and then give you like 4 seconds in the end. So that leads us one of the questions that we got from our audience before this live started. How many hours of footage do you normally go through for one episode, Zach?
Oh, wow. Do we want to say that? I think the first episode, which is when we were like, oh, something's going on here. The first episode was 11 hours of footage.
Yep.
And our initial pitch for Budget Eats was like, this is going to be a 15-minute video. Also, I had the worst internet I've ever had, so I couldn't download. I had to download all the footage, but it took a week to download the footage, and then it took another week just to pare down 11 hours into an hour or 2 hours. And then I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Here you go, June and Julia. And then June and Julia, with their masterful vision skills, were like, here's the edits. We will guide through. And that's how we got it. But yeah, the first one was 11 hours. I think we've definitely gotten shorter. We've had this last one was 6 hours, or the one we're currently working on. The footage was 6 hours long. But it's all... Yeah. It's tricky to figure out what parts work and what parts we need to give you as the audience to follow
Yep.
What June's doing, what's cooking. What's cooking?
Yep. All right, guys. I believe it has been 10 minutes, and now I'm going to harass you to vote for our Webby Awards, which I just linked in the chat box. Don't you forget, this is basically an hour-long ad in which you get to hang out with us, and we get to remind you every 10 minutes to please vote for our videos on the Webby Awards.
Yeah.
Zach really wants this award, so please just give Zach a very nice thing this year.
I do want an award. I think awards are meaningless, and I love meaningless things, so I would love one for myself. I found the person who asked that question earlier. Oh no, I lost it again. Man. Oh, Sophie G. Thank you, Sophie G, for that earlier question about who came up with it. You've never seen Zach before. Me either.
All right. Julia's giving us the choice questions right now.
Oh, good.
Zach, what is something about each of you that your followers would be very surprised to learn?
What is something about me that my followers would be surprised to learn? I told a friend this last night, and he didn't know this about me. I have dyscalculia. I have dyscalculia and a low-grade amount of the one with the words. I can't remember the name, of course. What is that one?
What is dyscalculia?
Dyscalculia is like dyscalculia is dyslexia for numbers, but it has different variants and things like that. So I got tested when I was in high school because I started getting really bad grades because I'm not good at memorizing things without understanding why they are. And so I have a really hard time counting or doing any kind of math in a stressful situation.
Huh.
That's something about me. Another thing about me is I'm a really bad cook. I don't really know how to cook anything. I know how to make...
I don't know. You sent me some photos of dinners that you cooked, a couple of weeks ago, and it was pretty dang good, so...
I'll say before the pandemic, I was a pretty bad cook. I used to burn the rice a lot, but now...
Would you agree that it's just practice?
I think so. I think it's practice and taking out your fire alarms before cooking, and then remembering to put them back in because fire safety is important.
Fun fact, my smoke alarm is not in. Please don't tell me. There's no circulation in my kitchen, and if I had it in, I would never be able to finish even half an hour. If you could go back to the Delish kitchen, everything goes back to normal. We're just imagining the scenario.
Yeah.
Would you continue Budget Eats?
Ooh.
Do you want to cut footage of me cooking Budget Eats in the test kitchen, Zach? Would it feel appropriate in that environment?
So I was thinking about this because naturally, we're all kind of planning and a little itching to get back to some semblance of normal. But because I was wondering, because if you do it in test kitchen, someone else is going to be the camera person. So that's no longer you interacting with you. That's you interacting with whoever is our camera person, Chelsea or Brad or someone. So that changes the dynamic. And then it's it's not your neighborhood. So could we do a Budget Eats where you have to shop around? Where's our office? Midtown? I don't remember.
Midtown Manhattan?
Yeah, a Budget Eats in Midtown. Be like...
It's $25 for 2 apples in that area.
Yeah. So that would be... there are a lot of challenges. I think we could continue Budget Eats, or at least the spirit of Budget Eats, which I really appreciate that you bring out. I think I'm not well-versed in cooking shows, but the thing I like about your show and our show is your openness to try things, to admit that you don't know everything, and to be like, you can do this too. You can fail, and you can experiment and eat spleen.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, everybody fails, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like not a lot of, unless the show or the personality behind the show is focused on showing you trials of getting to the perfect recipe, I feel like a lot of, food media videos don't show you the fails. But, everybody fails. And so why not show the fails? Because it happens.
Yeah. All that being said, I would like it if you didn't do like 12-hour days to film these episodes. That's something I think doesn't, like, I didn't really even think about till halfway through of like how much of your day is you filming these things. And so it would be nice if we're back in the office for you to have like a 9 to 5 work time and then hop out. But I think that's everyone everywhere in the pandemic is
it would change the show though. Like, I mean, it's kind of, in a sense, it's kind of like you get what you pay for, except in this case I'm paying with time and sanity, as are you. But yeah, I think it would be a totally different show if we
I think it would be a different format, but I think the spirit would be the same, and I think that's what people are drawn to. Because even before the show, you would pop around and remember Lauren's show? Lauren had that great show of making big dishes of things.
Wolo.
I loved Wolo.
If you dig deep enough on the Delish YouTube channel, you will find a series called Wolo.
Yeah, you should watch Wolo. Everyone should watch Wolo. I love that show. But June is always popping around in the background, and there was like comments among people in the office and among us who were like, obviously we love Lauren. Lauren is a dream of a host, but like, what's up with June? June's pretty cool. She should get her own channel. What's another question?
All right. Next question. What are you currently working on?
I'm working on Budget Eats as fast as I can. The next episode will be soon. I want to say next week, but I'm not gonna confirm that until I get further into the edit.
I feel like all of our viewers are so hungry for more Budget Eats, but if anybody's done like film production, video editing, it's really intense, guys. I shoot a very long time for an entire week, then I hand in all of that footage over to Zach, and then Zach basically needs twice the amount of time that I take to shoot to edit it, because editing a video is basically creating the whole narrative and the voice and the mood and the packaging of a video. Like, yes, I'm cooking all the stuff, but Zach is cooking the video itself. So that is in itself like a very complicated recipe. 2 recipes a day times 5 days, depending on how many food items I randomly churned out of crumbs. And Zach, I feel like you've been very frustrated before, where you were just like, I thought you were done, but now you just made 3 more dishes.
Yeah. June always starts the Monday batch of footage, be like, okay, we're just going to keep things simple. We're going to make 6 meals. And then by like, and you can tell as a viewer that like how June is just continually trying to top herself. And then by the end, you're like, and why don't we make 4 more dishes? And you're like, but we finished. What stamina is that? Where is that coming from? I quit at a certain point. So it's a bunch.
I feel like both of us have quit like at least 6 times since this series began.
Yeah. I think people in the comment section asked a while ago, and it's true that the process of making this is a lot of like, we're doing it, and then it's like, I gotta sit down. I have to sit down, stay hydrated, and then I can get up and do it again. There are lots of nights where I'm like, I almost have it, and then I have to tell someone like, I have to take a walk, and then I come back, I'm like, I see it. It's such a logic puzzle, and I'm bad at logic puzzles.
And I also think you bring up a great point about like what it means to make this video, not only me self-shooting it and then you editing the whole thing from a person who doesn't really have a background on shooting. Yeah. Also doing this in the middle of pandemic, like working from home, and how that kind of structure just goes away. So for example, for me, I start shooting at like 10 a.m. and then I often zap around 6:30 because that's when the light goes down. Mm-hmm. And then I sit down for 2 hours to sort through the footage so that I don't just hand you like 300 files from that day. Mm-hmm. And then I have to like spend an hour sorting through all the notes that I jotted on my computer on my greasy, meaty hand. Yeah. Like what I did for each recipe so that I could do a write-up for the site. And then I have to like start brainstorming and looking at what ingredients I have for tomorrow so that I'm not literally just coming into the kitchen the morning of and being like, Zach, I think we're going to do this. And then 3 hours down the filming line, it's like, Zach, we're not doing that. We're actually doing this.
Which is very impressive for your skills to be like, I'm going to change it midway. It's very impressive for you to create things that way. It's very
torturous for you.
Hazardous. Yeah, hazardous for me because I'm like, I almost finished it, and then you throw something else, and I'm like, okay, I guess we gotta drop reality for a second and figure that out.
Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't really have a normal work day like you said. When we do these, and I don't know what it is for you to edit these. Like, do you have a normal work day when you do these edits?
No,
long edits.
Not really. I think I have a normal work day because I have other stuff I do for Delish, of course. And when it comes to these, it stretches and it kind of goes either way. But that's the work-life balance. You manage yourself and your hours of like I can go. Like 10 to 8 tonight, and then tomorrow I'll start sooner or I'll start later, and things like that. It's just managing your health and your expectations for the day. Of like, I'm not going to finish cutting 6 hours into a final V1. It's going to take like 3 or 4 days, and then we're going to take a couple of days for notes. And graphics, of course, by our lovely Vineet and Sarah and Allie.
And Julia's notes.
And
Julia
notes.
has to sliver these down from usually the version 1 is an hour and 30 something minutes, and then sometimes we'll get it down by 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Off of that time, but sometimes we don't. Like Zach, today I just discovered that you left out a whole process. So get ready to have 3 more minutes in the video.
I did. I saw that note and I was like, oh, you know what? I totally spaced. I just thought that guac was done.
I wish we had the budget to just buy guac.
Yeah, that'd be nice. What are these other questions? Does Zach ever get hungry watching the footage? Well, I sure do. Which is why it's another reason why I take some breaks is because I'm editing. I'm like, well, that looks really good. There was one video you were making. Oh gosh, what was it? What is the dish, June? Do you remember the dish where it had the little? Is it onigiri?
Oh. No, it's
it was the little swan things that kind of.
The Japanese pancake.
Yeah.
Okonomiyaki.
Yeah, that looked incredible to me, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I couldn't get it here in Crown Heights. But I was like, I'll make some pancakes. That's kind of a thing, and I threw some spices on it, so I felt like I was June.
Nice.
Which also, that's my cooking has gotten better just simply by watching June cook, because it has opened me up to this kind of idea of look what you have and then see what you want to do. So I've thrown some meals together, which is something I've never done. I'm a very strict recipe person.
Really?
Yeah.
Have I ever told you? I feel like I've told several people in the office the story about an incident I had in 3rd grade when my teacher was trying to pull together a family cookbook using one recipe from each kid's family. And I had immigrated to the U.S. when I was 7, so I was in the 2nd grade when I first came, and I still didn't quite know English well by the time 3rd grade rolled around. So my mom and I stayed up until 3 a.m. one night trying to, first of all, make a recipe, because in my family we don't really have written recipes. And then we tried to convert all of the amounts into measurements, except we weren't familiar with the fact that America uses imperial units. So we did everything in grams. And then, of course, our English was very butchered and broken. So the next day I handed my assignment in, and a few hours later during reading time or whatever, my teacher calls me over, and not quite being fluent in English yet, I half deciphered from her body language and from her pointing at my recipe that she couldn't use it after all of that because it was just too non-standard. So I have a very twisted relationship with recipes myself.
That's true.
So kind of making budget eats and just going off of the book is sort of liberating to me, because it's kind of the way that I've always cooked up until I started working in restaurants, which I did for 4.5 years before joining Delish, and up until I became a recipe developer myself. So ironically, I now develop recipes for a living. I'm sure this is something I need to work out psychologically with myself.
Yeah, and I'm sure a thing that would help you work it out psychologically is winning a Webby Award. That's right, folks. We are
Wow.
we are here to ask you to please vote for us for a Webby Award. It would be pretty cool to show ourselves and our parents that hard work pays off.
I'm going to spam you guys with the link for anyone who just joined.
Yeah, for anyone who just
joined. The link is also pinned by Julia up top in the chat.
Of course. You guys are so nice in those comments. I was talking for so long, I forgot to read the things.
What series do you wish the viewers would support more of? Like on Delish? We have a lot of series, guys.
Yeah, on Delish or on TV. I have TV shows for sure I'd like people to watch more, so I can talk to people about. But on Delish, I really like. I'm trying to pick. There are a bunch. I'm gonna say Tess Coleman's Slightly Kosher.
Agreed.
There's something about that with our delightful editor Will Klein, who is a gem to work with. I went to college with him. And he and Tess and Julia, and I don't know who else works on those, but they pull off some wild stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's just really, it's a slice of life. It's kind of like Budget Eats in that you get to peer into like tests, just as tests.
Mm-hmm.
So I find great delight in that. There's a certain brand of humor that you have to be able to vibe with to watch Slightly Kosher. But if you can vibe with that humor, show's pretty gold.
Yeah. I feel like after almost every episode, I'm slacking them, congratulating them on various things they pulled off. And I'm like, how did you do that? I can't do that. How did you do that? How did you think of that? That's genius. Also, I don't know if this is legal, but you can totally vote multiple times.
You can't.
Yes, you can. It's because it says like Facebook and Twitter, so you can vote with your Facebook or your Twitter or your email.
Wait, really?
Yeah, if you have multiple emails. I spread out my votes for a little bit because I was like, I really like our video a lot, but I also really like I don't know, is it kosher to shout out another video? I really like that Gold Thread video. That Gold Thread video is amazing. I don't know who makes those, but I want to talk to them because I've
Clarissa, I believe is the showrunner's name, but yeah, those shows really dive deep into Chinese cuisine, and they go all over China and show you regional differences and specialties, and they're kind of like little tiny snippets of biographies for chefs all over, plus a feature on their food and sometimes the culture, and it's really nice, and they're very bite-sized. They're not an hour and a half long, some shows are, and I don't know why people watch those, but like they're just like 7 or 8 minutes, really digestible.
If you're folding laundry to our show, and you're gonna fold laundry to their show, it's got to be a much smaller load. It's got to be like just washcloths.
Yeah. It's perfect for like washing your lunch dishes, but not for your weekend baking dishes.
In the comments, Sarah Golden wants to know if I've met Maddie Matheson. I haven't, but I edited a video with him for Delish. You can watch that, The Chopping Block with Maddie Matheson. He's pretty funny. I like him. He's a fellow Grateful Dead fan.
He's very loud, rambunctious, and just like packed with flavor.
Yeah.
I really like my people packed with flavor.
Yeah, I like when people get to be themselves, or have figured out how to be themselves without being hurtful to others.
And he's commercially viable. There you go. He's got all 3 categories covered. How do you do that? I don't know, but Maddie's done it.
Look at that. You get to make money just from being yourself. What a rare treat.
Can you talk about how you come up with different challenges or concepts for each new video? I feel like this is more of like Julia's arena. I feel like Julian and I kind of brainstorm about what the next limitation on Budget Eats will be, and usually it's something that hits an SEO term, like if people are very into low-carb diets, then we'll just do a Budget Eats with low-carb restrictions, and that's kind of fun to explore, what you do when you can't use all-purpose flour, or for a vegan version, what you can do without any butter or meat or eggs. Eggs are a huge part of Budget Eats because, eggs can be cheap if you buy them from very sad farms with very fat chickens. The reality is a lot of people can only afford the cheap stuff, and so I tend to feature eggs a lot in my Budget Eats. But like for that vegan episode, it was kind of rough not having eggs. Eggs are kind of a magical ingredient. They can just morph into whatever you need them to be.
Absolutely. And they're good. Is this the right term? Binder? Is that a good binder?
Yeah. Yeah, they are a good binder. In burgers, and cakes, cookies. They bind my soul. What have you tried any of my recipes? That is another question.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to duplicate if you don't have $25 worth of $1 grocery items and like 28 spices and a cast iron skillet. Do you own a cast iron skillet?
I really don't.
Damn.
I think I've made recipes that you did for like one-off Delish things, possibly more, but I can't recall those right now. You remember those videos we did early on of like, here's how you do whatever. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I can do that. Yeah.
We did like whatever you got chicken noodle soup. And then we got like a pantry cookie. We did some cast iron skillet pan pizza. And then I was like, all right, this footage for my cell phone looks like real crap. Let's switch over to my less crappy looking camera that actually doesn't have autofocus on it. But we'll make it work. Because that's what this last year has been. It's making it work.
Yeah. So I don't think I've used a specific recipe, but I've used the specific inventiveness of June, of just looking at my pantry and being like, what do I have? Oh, I have Brussels sprouts, and I have carrots and this and that. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be rice, Brussels sprouts, carrots, salad with some tuna in it. And then I'm like, all right, I ate that.
That sounds amazing.
It did the job.
I mean, yeah. If you have some seasonings and then you just throw a bunch of stuff in the bowl and you toss it all together, you just season it until it tastes better, and then you put some mayo on top or you put some Tabasco on top, and that's it.
I think
that's food.
Yeah, I think you've really opened my eyes to like, oh, you can make things and they can taste bad, but put a sauce on it, it tastes great.
Yeah, sauce, condiment, spices, they're like these tiny little hidden heroes that never take front stage, but will always play that crucial sidekick. That you can't live without. So, June, do you research recipes before filming or just try things out? It's a little mix of both, right? Because if I'm already shooting so long and I have to sort through the footage, by the time I hit like midnight at night, my brain is barely functioning, and sometimes I'll just be like, I need to not do this anymore. And that day will be the day that Zach has to deal with 6 hours of footage rather than 5 hours of footage. So, you know, it's kind of like a zero-sum game in the grand scheme of the universe. It's like if I slack off, Zach has to bear the brunt of that consequence. So, you know, somebody's going to suffer for these episodes. Just know that every time you holler for more budget eats,
we're not withholding.
Another part of our soul dies.
No, we're not withholding. We're not Valve sitting on Half-Life 3 and be like, you'll never get it. We're actively trying to make the thing. It just takes a while. And we love to give it to you. June, are your fans called spleenies? Is this a thing I'm just learning about?
Yeah, long story.
Because of the spleen. I saw it.
You guys watched that episode of Budget Eats that maybe you saw, maybe you didn't, I don't know.
I think I was there, yeah.
I cooked spleen, and so some people were just like, we can call ourselves the June bugs, or we can call ourselves the spleenies, and I was like, you know, guys, I really hate June bugs. They're kind of big and dumb and really noisy, and in the middle of the summer on a farm, they'll just like fly right into your eyes, like, and then drop dead. So I was like, I would rather not.
Yeah.
So spleenies for now, but you know, I've also been floating other ideas that you have to constantly change your identity. You can't just be one identity forever and always. Stuff grows stale. You know, you've got to introduce new spices, introduce new ingredients, just try things out. Go for the strain.
Booyah.
Like my hair. I don't have inspiration for this hair. Some of you are asking where my inspiration comes from. I haven't paid for a haircut since high school.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is a salon in Brooklyn was doing a nice art book shoot, and they were like, we need hair models. And I was like, cool. Do stuff to my hair. And they did it to my hair. And this is where we are.
This is where
Some
we
people
are.
like it, some people don't. You know, that's the way of the world, as always is.
That's true.
No matter what you choose.
And one choice you can make to let us know that you like us is to vote for our Webby Award.
Wow, Zach, you're good at this. You're good at this.
You can head on to the link. It's pinned. Vote for us. We'd really appreciate it. And shout out all our spleens. Shout out to all your spleens.
Zach, somebody in the chat box is suggesting that your fans be called the Bagelies?
The Bagel Eats.
I don't know how he feels about that. How do you feel about that?
Bagelies? I mean, Lena, I like bagels quite a bit. Oh, my t-shirt's bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese, of course. I'm fine calling. I could be a spleenie. You just lump me in with the spleenies. I appreciate the special shout out, but we're all just part of this Budget Eats team, trying to give you the best of
like
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this.
This is fun. This is nice. Let's see what other questions we got.
Somebody asked me what I was making earlier. I'm making my signature alcoholic spiked oatmeal. So I put some flaxseed in here. There's some instant oats. There's some milk. There's some vanilla extract. I stole these hemp hearts from the test kitchen a while back because I figured nobody's going to go back for, 10 more years probably. And then I put in some pumpkin pie salt that was created during our Christmas budget eats because I was so tired that day. I just threw pumpkin pie spice back into my jar of salt, and now we have pumpkin pie salt. And of course, we got a little Irish liqueur, and that's it, guys.
That's the way it's made.
Are you eating any afternoon snacks back? I feel like I stay at home nowadays, and I'm constantly eating something.
I probably am gonna have like a fairly blah, just like a couple hunks of mozzarella cheese, and then I'll get back to work. So
have I shown you my cheese haul yet?
You have not. You have a cheese haul?
Do y'all want to see my cheese haul?
Yeah. Bring out some cheeses.
It's not a varied selection of cheeses, but I got 7 blocks of these yogurt cheeses because they were originally $4.99 a block, but then they were on sale for $1.50
Whoa.
each, and I was like, I cannot deny that, and they were sell by April 29th. So they'll probably be good for another 2 years, but expiration dates are a lie, guys.
Thank you guys for voting. The Hyphens. Oh, that's a good name for me because my last name's hyphenated.
Did you see Louise's request? She says she'll vote for us if Zach cooks and June edits. And I pitched this before. In fact, for April Fools,
yeah,
it was shot down very quickly, but I have pitched it.
Yeah, it's an idea, Louise. We appreciate it.
I think in order for that episode to come out in April, we would have started shooting in like November.
Yeah, I'm pretty decent at cooking. I'm not so sure how inventive I could be. Like, I love Aaron's weighing in of like, June, you know how to make any kind of like beans. You make beans fascinating and textural fun and stuff like that. And I feel like it would be impressive if I made beans. Like, that's my level, and I'm pretty proud that I can make beans.
I think we would all love to watch that.
Yeah.
I think it's like another thing where I have those Zoom videos where I teach Jackie how to make something, and I think people really appreciate seeing like me lead her through it and her not being very experienced as a cook and still managing to come out with like perfectly delicious fried rice at the end of that episode.
Yeah, that's another one to watch on Delish YouTube, Jackie and June. Jackie's so wonderful. I can't wait to maybe go out.
She's so freaking sweet.
Yeah, I want to go out to LA and just have Jackie take me around to all the foods.
Me too. Let's all go to LA. Field trip.
I love LA.
Emily says, can Zach talk cats. I don't know which cats she meant, but Zach.
Thanks, Emily Miller. Cats, as we all know, is a reference to the last great thing we had before the pandemic started, which was Cats 2019, a Tom Hooper film. I really encourage everyone, every spleenie should watch Cats. You're gonna think 10 minutes in, what is he talking about? Do I need to be inebriated? No, just sit there, soak it all in, take it all in. And the Blu-ray, if you want to buy a Blu-ray, buy that one. There's a director's commentary. It's really good. I would love for this pandemic to end so I can leave my house. So I won't constantly be thinking about Cats, because I feel like that's all I've been doing is thinking about Cats, the musical, which they really thought was going to win an award, and it didn't. They really thought they had something, and they didn't. I don't know what they did wrong. Maybe people didn't vote for it. But you know what you can vote for is...
Oh my god, how do you keep doing this so well?
I don't know. I think it's a childhood skill. I learned how to ask things of my parents in ways that seem natural.
Really valuable. I feel like you should do a TED Talk or a workshop on this. We could all benefit from it.
That movie is cursed. It is, yeah. Where's Fred?
What? What?
Where's Fred? How's Fred?
Oh, Fred is... Well, I put the chair here earlier thinking he'd jump on it, but he knows when he's being, used for work, and he'll just skedaddle out of here. He doesn't... Unlike Aaron, Fred is not cool with being an unpaid intern, so... I have a choosy cat.
Yeah.
But I do want to answer Lena's question.
Yeah.
She says, June, what's it like cooking with your team in the background? Sometimes I see your laptop in the back during Budget Eats with Delish people, I think, on the call.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting because life in the office still goes on when you're working from home. So invariably I'll have days when I have meetings and I'll just put on a Bluetooth headphone, which Aaron gifted me. Thank you so much, Aaron. And it's been a really great thing to have wireless headphones because then I can pay attention to the meeting but still continue filming because daylight waits for no one, and just gotta keep filming. So it gets very confusing sometimes. Once I double booked myself with 2 meetings that took place at exactly the same time, so I had one headphone in this ear and one headphone in that ear, and it did not work out, guys. Just because you have 2 ears does not mean that you have a dual brain processing center in the middle. So don't try it. I don't think I gained anything from either one of those meetings, unfortunately, that day. But sometimes this is why you'll get voiceover clips like 40 files down the line.
Yeah.
Because I've had to go back and shoot the voiceover for the clips where I had the headphones on.
Yeah. It's fun to hear past meetings show up weeks later in footage. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good meeting. Shout out Delish team. A lovely bunch.
Jude, what kitchen item would you buy if money were no object?
Oh, that's a good question.
Zach, what kitchen item would you buy if money were no object?
Oh, great deflection. I don't know. I feel like I'm not as well versed in kitchen items. If there was a kitchen item I would buy, you know what? Actually, I would love a seltzer machine thing. Mm-hmm. I love seltzer. I've been drinking that since I was a very small child. And I would love one of those seltzer stream things, but I feel like they cost a lot of money. Mm. So what would yours be?
I don't know. I was debating between a really nice serrated bread knife or like a shallow saute pan. Like I have my cast iron, but we were talking about whether or not somebody in the test kitchen would want to develop like a banana foster recipe, and those are usually like made in a very shallow, small saucepan, and you could just toss it very easily. Cast iron is very heavy, so it's kind of hard to toss it sometimes. So, but I really don't need anything in this kitchen, especially given how small it is. I feel like real estate is the most expensive thing, so I would probably want like a bigger apartment to begin with before I could add any kitchen item to my kitchen.
So your kitchen item would be a kitchen.
Yes.
A bigger kitchen.
Exactly.
I saw a question earlier. I don't remember if we answered it, but someone asked, "What ingredient would you love to get? No money as an object.
Ooh.
Like, what's something that you're like, if there's no limit, what would I get that would spice up everything?"
You know, the first thing that came to mind was I really want to eat a good local in-season durian.
Mm.
And this is like a dream that I've had for years, even before the pandemic hit. It's just like to travel to Southeast Asia, find a really good durian, spend a shitload of money on it, and just like eat it. But as far as spices, I don't really know. I don't know if there's anything that I've been like dying to have.
Yeah.
The more I cook and the more I look into recipes, a lot of cultures share the same basic spices.
Mm-hmm.
They just use them in different combinations to each other, which is very fascinating. So I feel like as far as spices go, I have a lot.
Yeah. Oh, Nicole Park has a seltzer soda stream recommendation. Thank you. Mercari. I'll write that down.
Look at us.
Yes.
From our audience.
Fielding things. The spleenies are so helpful.
Zach, Debbie has the question of what's the toughest part of editing the Budget Eats videos, or which one was the hardest?
I think the toughest part is to June's creativity. I feel like the final product is only highlighting like, here is how everything was made, but the way that you're able to do possibly 7 different things at the same time is incredible. It makes for very confusing raw footage because in one shot you'll be like chopping up onions, and then the next shot you'll be blending something, and a third shot you'll be pulling something from an oven. I'll be like, wait, what? And so it's I think the part that takes me the longest is figuring out which thing goes with which recipe, and then trying to find a way to make it logically adhere to a sense of time, a linear sense of time. Unless you guys really love Tenet, in which case I'm going to make every episode like Tenet, where it's just time is a mystery box or something. I don't know. I didn't watch Tenet. But I think I don't remember probably the first episode was the hardest.
It'd be really fun if like Delish rolled out a card game or a board game that's like, what would June make?
Yeah.
And it's just like a little game board of taking you through all the steps of like different combinations that June would have made. Mm-hmm. That could be really fun. And then at every single curve and turn, it'd be like Zach crying because it's just too confusing. I
do cry often. It's very healthy for me. What's the best blooper I've had to edit out? It's a great question. I understand the appeal of putting a blooper reel together. I simply there's just so much that I don't even know how we would do that. Are you about to put your laptop on a burner? Don't do that. Is it cold?
It's fine. It's cold.
Okay.
See?
Okay, I'm just saying.
It's
hands.
Fine.
Yeah. See my burning flesh.
See, Aaron needs a burner to boil water because he too.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
We work from home.
Yeah.
But we also live at work. So
it's
very hard to do these things and still be respectful of another human being.
As an apology for interrupting the stream, I will answer exactly one question only.
Wow.
Wow, one question. I mean, you've already got one person asking when will we do another partner choice episode.
Having partner choose to, yes. June suggested doing another episode of Aaron Week, which is what I shorthand for that video that we did, where she had to eat my whole diet. And I would do it again. It was kind of fun. So yeah.
People have also said that we should do Budget Eats where you shop for me.
I shop for you. Yes, I would do that. I'll do it.
Okay. You heard him, folks. He'll do it.
You did it. Look at that, folks. You work for it, you campaign for it, you got it. And something else you can campaign and work for is us getting a Webby Award. So hit that link, go vote for us, or whatever video you like that's up for nomination.
A comment says, I love how y'all on Delish seem so much friends with each other. I love that. Would you say we're friends, Zach?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're friends.
Alright.
Yeah, I like the comments in other videos where they're like, "Oh my gosh, does Tess know June, or does Julia talk to Tess?" And you're like,
Every day.
We kind of talk maybe too much to each other. I think it's rare for me to work in a place where I pretty much like everyone and want to talk to everyone a lot. And that's Delish.
True.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, someone asked. I lost it. Sorry, person. I'm sure your question was important. Oh, I mean, we've another person asking if I've learned any techniques. I think just being creative and trusting your gut and being like, I think this will work on this. I make scrambled eggs for breakfast every other morning. And because of June, I'm like, well, what if I put some chili pepper flakes in it? Will that make it good? And guys, it's great. Chili pepper flakes, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Great eggs.
I think this question needs a shout out. Who does the drawings for the ingredients? I love that part.
Oh,
There's like a
yes.
special fan club. Ali Folino, our art director, started doing those illustrations. Now we also have another art. Oh my gosh, Friday. We have another art editor, Sarah. She's been doing a lot of those illustrations. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to budget each. And there's like a whole village involved in producing one.
Yeah, and they're phenomenal. I love the first time they sent that art through, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, this feels like we've entered another level of making these videos." Was this creative art? The day Allie and Sarah were hired were pretty phenomenal days. Everyone was kind of like, "This is gonna change things. This is gonna be great."
Have we done budget eggs 100 ways? Wow, I don't know if Zach wants to edit that one.
I'm not mad at it. I like that your border. I would say 50 ways. A, because that's less than 100, and B, because it's a good Paul Simon reference to 50 Ways to Lose Your Lover. That's a great song.
Wow. Okay.
So let's do 50. 50 eggs.
I'm sure if I cooked 50 eggs all at once, one after another, our house would probably smell a lot like eggs, and I might just lose Aaron. Or Fred, or both.
Oh, this is a great one. Danielle, we don't want you to stay up any more than you have to. So June, can you talk about the plan you had for the chicken skin that went rancid? Do you remember that?
Oh my god, guys, yes. That made me so sad because I had this thing. So I don't know how many of you guys are into that Japanese, I guess it's a sushi of some sort. I'm not very well versed. It doesn't actually have fish in it, so it's technically not a sushi, but it's a handheld rice ball, and it's sushi rice stuffed into this bean curd pocket. And so I was imagining that I would basically flay out the chicken skin, put cooked rice in there, and like spices, and then sew it back up, and then hand sear that chicken skin so that we get like crispy chicken skin rice pockets. That was my grand plan for it.
That's a good plan.
Alas.
That's a great plan. Am I?
It's Zach, my boss.
No. No, I'm not. I'm just an editor. Yeah, Aaron's the secret. Aaron's the secret boss. He's the final boss. No, our boss is Jo Salt. She's great. Shout out to Jo, who lets us come up with weird things and figure out if they work online. That's pretty cool.
Jo basically runs the daycare, and we're just like the 4-year-olds running amok. And she's still sane, so props to her.
Props to her.
All these toddlers running around.
Yeah.
Has anything ever broken or burnt? I think I broke a couple of jars and bowls, and I think during Aaron's diet week, we broke a bowl that I had bought from a trip to Hong Kong, and I was really devastated. I was really devastated. But not too many bad accidents.
Hi, Dawn. I don't know why there's a question mark, but hello, Dawn. Hello, Spleenies.
Guys, we are rounding down the hour, so if you have any burning questions, this is your chance, because after 4 p.m., I'm going to go eat the rest of my alcoholic oatmeal, and that'll be that. Zach's going to carry on editing the next Budget Eats for y'all.
Yeah. I gotta make some video. I hear people like video. How many people does it take to make a Budget Eats? There's June. There's Julia. There's Vinit, who does the animations. There's Sarah and Allie, who do the graphics. And there's me. Is that 6?
But also Lauren approves the video.
Yeah, Lauren approves it.
And I think Philip kind of oversees the whole process of sharing footage.
Yeah. Philip's my
and
boss.
I'm sure we're leaving out someone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Aaron. I feel like Aaron is an integral part of the show now.
Yeah. He used to be just a ghost vocal in the background, and now he is a pivotal character. Y'all should be honored to see his face every now and then. It's pretty great face. Oh yeah, that's my name. Sorry, right. I forgot it, Donna. My name's Zach, and that's June.
I'm very disturbed. Somebody said, June, you're my favorite foodie, and at first, because it's Friday afternoon and I've had some Bailey's oatmeal, I thought it said, June, you're my favorite food.
Oh no.
And I was very disturbed.
Yeah.
But thank goodness that is not the case.
True. That is a level of Budget Eats we will not cross. Ethically.
Yeah, just don't drink and do YouTube lives, guys.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Any update on Tom?
Tom!
We got an OG watcher here.
Wow. Danielle. Shout out Danielle. Day 1 over here.
Tom is back with his owner. He was never ours to begin with. We were just fostering him for a couple of weeks because his dad was very, very sick. But I think they're very happy together and healthy.
Yay. Does Delish
last question.
Does Delish provide better internet? Oh, they did for a while. I got a little device that helped, and then I moved because I had problems with the building in general, and I'm a much faster internet. Hence the live stream.
I feel like everyone's been moving in the past 6 months. It's kind of wild how much movement there's been, but everybody's been shuffling.
Do you mind you take a last question?
Well, I like the last 2. So, Zach, which Budget Eats video are you most proud of? I'm very interested in your take on this because you've had to edit them all, and they're kind of all your baby now.
That's true. Now I have to think about all of them. I feel like I want to say the Thanksgiving one.
Unexpected.
Yeah, I think the Thanksgiving
one. Was it because it was the shortest?
I didn't think of that. The length helped, but I feel like you brought a level of ingenuity to a Thanksgiving menu is like stapled to everyone's head of like, you make this, you do this, you do this, you do this. And I feel like you were able to take the lid off that and be like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it for less money. And I feel like creatively you had a great time shooting that video, which I really enjoyed. And Julia's notes on that video, I remember her just kind of being like, let's try a bunch of stuff, which I really liked. And then Vinit did some really cool graphics in that, if I remember. And the drawings were great from Allie and Sarah. It was a really all-around great video. And I guess that's why it's nominated for a Webby Award, which you can vote for. The link is pinned. June, what's your favorite video?
My favorite video was, I think, the Christmas one because it was so intense. I also had $100, and I also loved my moment with the duck.
Yeah.
And I also love that you just felt like you needed to go full-on artistic license with the psycho insertion that now people love. So it's when we make jumps like that I'm like, yes, let's do all the crazy things.
Yeah, that psycho one was that's what happens when you're at the end of the day and you're still editing and you're like, well, I guess let's try this.
All right. The very last question I would love to answer is, can you talk about eating more vegetables for an adult who doesn't like them that much? And I say, if you don't like something, don't force yourself to do it just because you think you should. And this goes beyond vegetables. Because you're just making it more miserable for yourself. But I will say that veggies are sorely underrated because most people just think I either roast them or boil them. But you can manipulate veggies into so many different forms. Just give all the veggies a try. There's leafy greens, there's crunchy root vegetables, there's starchy ones, there's ones that are purple, there's ones that are like dark green. They're fantastical, and just keep trying them. I feel like you need to at least have a couple of veggies that you like. There's so many. Have you tried them all?
Every vegetable? I have not tried every vegetable, but I look forward to.
Keep trying things. That's what life is.
That's true. You're here. You got one life. Let's try some stuff and figure out what you want to do. Veggies are cool, guys. I like veggies now. I didn't before, but now I'm a big veggie fan.
Shall we sign off, Zach?
I think so.
Time.
I think we.
Did we get enough votes? Did we win yet?
Yeah. Does anyone know? I don't know why we want to win, but.
There's still a few more days. I believe voting ends on May 6th. So if you didn't vote today and you want to check out the competition, by all means, check out the competition. We'll be here for you, waiting for the next episode of Budget Eats sometime in the near future.
Yeah. Sometime. And meanwhile, if you haven't subscribed to Delish, subscribe to Delish. It's a cool place. Go to our website. We got great articles on
oh yeah,
food waste.
I want to say this.
Oh, do you want to talk?
I make a lot of videos for Delish, and they're not all on YouTube. So if you're not going to delish.com, you're actually missing out on a lot of video content. Just saying.
Yeah, there's some great articles on that site written by our very wonderful Tess and Alexis, and more names that I'm blanking on. Lauren, Lena, Mackenzie.
Articles that are amazing.
Yeah. Mackenzie's got some great articles. I've used a bunch of Mackenzie recipes. That's also helped me with learning how to cook. It's just going on Delish, finding some stuff. But yeah, that's where we're at. Thank you all for tuning in. Maybe we'll do this again. I don't know. I should probably tell
End
Julia.
the stream, Zach. Get me out of the box.
I don't know how to do that. We gotta tell Julia how to do that.
You just got it in the stream, my bro.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I figured it out. Guys, I'm much better at editing, not so much as saying goodbye. Alright, we love all you spleenies.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, we'll see you later.